Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Let me turn this music off. Praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace, the center of our world, right? All of our hope. Oh, it's such a beautiful evening. And I was just like really taking it in, right? Like taking the whole Bible in, right? As like this amazing narrative, right? That is all about God's relationship with us, right? Our relationship with Him, and just how far He will go for us. I mean, it's just so amazing, right? Like all the different times that He's given us so many chances, and He's so forgiving, and He understands what we're going through. Like when we look around and we see how people are treating each other nowadays, it's like we're in bizarro world, right? We we say to ourselves, something like, "Man, how do people sleep at night?" Doing that to each other. But there's something about us, right? While we're not better than anybody else on earth, right? Obviously, there's something about us that knows that we don't belong here, that there's a different place created for us where um, we won't let him down, where we will be everything he imagined us to be. And like all through the Bible, right? It tells you like things like, life is just a vapor, right? And, the whole thing is about him. And see, like when you grow up, learning about evolution, the ball earth, all this stuff, right? Um, it's you if you do find God through all the lies and the deceit and all that, you feel like it's, oh, this is just a nice part of my life, or you almost feel generous, right? Like, I'm going to make God a big part of my life, but when you realize that he's absolutely real and every word of his promises are true, there is nothing else. There is nothing else but God, right? Oh, hey, Bubba. Hey, I don't want you to feel any pressure, but you can join if you want, or just chill out. It's up to you. I have a couple things like in the air. Like, I know that there's a young guy that wants me to have a discussion with him. He normally debates, the Bible, and I've sent you a link if you want to join. And so like um, he normally debates the Bible with people about like, I think he's a Hebrew Israelite, and he's a young guy, man. I think he's like 18, 19, 20, something like that. And you know, I'll join him for like a discussion. I think I was hoping to have like, Jake or Stephanie with me, one of the two, or like have him on while one of them is on with me. But I may end up having, because they're stretched already so thin, right? That I may have to go over and do that tonight just by myself after their stream. And so what I'm hoping to do is reach his heart, because I really think that this kid is he's smart, man. He's an impressive guy, man. Hopefully he will go to God for salvation, right? No, hopefully he'll know how it works. Maybe he does already. I'm not sure. Um, I know a lot of the doctrine over there is not good, so I don't know what their beliefs are about salvation. All right, let me add Bubba to the stream. Hey, Bubba, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Good. How you doing, man? I just got off a phone call,
Um,
and somebody wants to do a live stream with me later, and I'm like, okay.
I know, man. It's like we're getting spread so thin, right? It's like, come on, man. What are we gonna do, man?
No,
Well,
it's
and then,
10 TV. She was like, she
oh
was mentioning
wow,
Peanut, and I was like, dude, I only met Good Servant through Peanut.
right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then
And like,
and I was going to tell you this. I forgot to text you because I was like, who's this Good Servant guy? He wants to do some show with me or something. No, when at the beginning, before I knew you were.
oh yeah, yeah. I was telling Mike, I was like, yeah, no, tell Bubba, man,
I'm
that,
like,
that
oh no, that's
you
cool.
could
And
join, man. We could do something.
I don't think he knows I'm in here almost every day just because I enjoy the fellowship.
Well, it's a good thing that you did like
Yeah.
that you came over when you did because he got mad at me like not that much after that he got mad at me I guess
Oh
the urban
no.
disciple. Yeah, it was a misunderstanding between I don't know urban disciple and some girl was I don't know, and I don't even know how I got involved, right? I was just like,
And
what,
that's what
how
I
am I, I'm
told
just
Tid
here.
TV. I said, hey, if I do this with you, I don't want no drama. I don't want no. And we were
No
talking.
drama.
No, and she gets it. And we were just talking, and
No.
yeah, everything from like tsunamis in the Pacific Northwest. They came
Oh
out the other
yeah.
day and they're expecting the one to hit Oregon. They were wrong, and it's more than double what they first thought because of it's just like. And then she got to
See,
talking
I'm
about
with
this, that, and
you.
the other, and it was just like, yeah.
I'm with you on this. Like, I mean, it really seems like we're days away. Like, I had to like check with you because sometimes I'm like so sure of something that I almost start talking myself out of it. Like, oh, maybe that's too
I
good to be true, or
know.
maybe it's not happening, or maybe we're at the other end of the 1,000 years. All these different doctrines of devils are out there too. Take Paul out of the
Yeah.
Bible. Did you hear this new one? There's a new one. I don't know how new it is, but they're teaching that the Old Testament God is Satan and the New Testament God is God.
Oh
And I'm like, what
my.
are we talking about? Like,
Oh my.
they were saying, okay, well, because what was it? Moses was, had a snake.
That
He had a
doesn't make it
snake.
even any
I know,
sense.
man.
Oh my
if
word.
if they've read it, right, they would obviously see it all fits together, right? But they're like their reasoning was like, yeah, like the serpent, like there was a serpent on his staff, and he was, doing the water and all that. I'm like, oh,
Oh, brother.
get out of here, guys,
Oh
man.
my
What are we
word.
talking about? Like people are really losing their minds. Like,
They're and that's what I'm talking. This doctrines of demons and stuff because people. I mean, they're literally making doctrines. They're pulling it right out of the rear end. And anymore, it seems it's like what?
where
What
are
are
you
you
getting this stuff?
talking about?
People want to take Paul out of the Bible. How do you take Paul out of the Bible? He wrote like 90% of it. The New Testament, I don't know how much he wrote, more than half, right? And you're like, how do you mean take Paul out of the Bible? What are you talking about?
When they were mentioning people were talking about Paul worship, I'm like, that's the first in my entire life that I have heard of such stuff. I'm like, what?
I never heard of
Worship
that either.
Paul? What? Well, because they read so much out of the book of Romans and First Thessalonians and Paul's writings. I'm like, what are you talking
Oh,
about?
so
I don't.
crazy.
I. You know what I mean? These thoughts never enter your mind. Like, in other words, to me, it's like they're pulling something out of nothing that shouldn't. I'm like, what?
Right. Well, well, well,
I don't get it.
most Bible like disagreements, right, are like these hypothetical, questions, right, where they're
Oh
making up
my
some
word!
imaginary person, like,
Yes.
oh yeah, this someone's gonna get saved, and then just go do what they want and two middle fingers up. And I'm like,
They,
I've never met a person like that. Like, show me what's his name? I want to talk to him.
this is
Like,
exactly what you're seeing. You're seeing eisegesis so much happening right now. Not exegesis. It's called eisegesis. In other words, they're forming their own doctrine because it fits their own narrative or what their own mind believes. Like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's
It's a, they're just
like either they want it to be. I've seen people that like they they get saved. I don't know why. I don't know what spirit gets in them, right? But they get saved, or they, think they get saved. I don't know what happens, right? But they get into God, but then they look at other people, knowing that they're broken themselves, right? Look at other people, and they don't want other people to make it. Like, oh no, that person is not doing it right, or that person over there is not. I'm like, wow, man, like, why don't you want your? Why don't I want everyone to make it?
right.
Like what is this? What is this all about? Like, oh no, they gotta do it the harder way. I'm like, oh man, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. God did this for us. It's a gift. Look what he did for us, man. He gave us absolutely everything he could possibly give us. I mean, and then how could anybody say that it's gonna be some kind of puzzle or some kind of weird, uh, you know, some kind of weird trick we got to learn? That's not the God I know. God I know is
Wow.
so forgiving and so wonderful, right?
Oh wow. Yeah. I'm just seeing, and I'm just sorry. I'm just seeing if there's anything latest. But you're seeing too. Every country is forming an alliance with each other. Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah, yeah. Wait, say that one more time.
Every country is forming an alliance with another country. They're forming like the old Axis versus Allies formations, almost in
Oh
World War
yeah.
II, and they're just. I mean, just even the past couple of days, no one's talking about this, but Greece is making military ties strong with Israel.
Oh
How's this going
wow.
to work? Is NATO going to get pulled in if Greece is part? Yeah.
Oh, they might even have to restructure NATO.
This is going to get nutty, Professor, real
Mm.
quick.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
the Iranian, what is that? The real fell to the lowest ever value against the United States dollar today. And this is the second day in a row that they're shutting down stores and shops in Iran because no one's coming in to buy anything. And if I have an open store and you have an open store and we all have open stores and no one's buying anything because we can't afford anything to buy, then why not just march and protest? And that's what they're doing the past 2 days. It fell to 332,000 Iranian reals for $1.
Wow, and our dollar is even garbage.
Right.
Oh, wow. It's gonna pop. It's gotta pop. I mean, it has to pop. Like, what is gas now? $10? Has it reached $10?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow,
It's
that's unbelievable. It's
Israel
unbelievable.
has told all 40,000 of its Israeli citizens to evacuate Turkey immediately, basically, because they are planning on canceling all flights in and out of Turkey from Israel very soon.
So this is my question, right? Is there anything out there on
Turkey's about Turkey's about on its way out of NATO to be the Beth Tagarma of Ezekiel 38 to join with the Russian Islamic
Yeah,
coalition.
that's what I was gonna ask. That's what I was gonna ask. Is there any is there any push for like Russia to like join with like Iran or China or anything like that? Like, does it look like any alliances are being made that way?
They've been made. They're getting stronger.
Oh wow.
Iran today or Moscow today was sending his first flight from Moscow to Tehran to make a connection through Iran to continue on to India. This is going to be the first time Russian stuff's going to be brought into India. And they've been increasing their flights to and from Moscow from Tehran, Iran, and they're shipping stuff back and forth left and right.
Oh, I
And
didn't even count India as joining that too.
yeah,
Wow, that would be humongous.
the latest thing with the centrifuges in Iran is they said they're turning on all their new ones and they're flipping off the world even more. And they're saying we are just going to start pumping the gas through it now to get it to just what we need to have our yeah. So Israel
Wow.
knows it's a ticking time bomb. Mahmoud Abbas today from the Palestinian Authority and his chief of staff in Cyprus for the next 3 days of talks. Now, why Cyprus? I'm like, that's that island there off of Greece and stuff. Well, Israel was just there up through May 5th for the last week of their Chariots of Fire war thing where they were practicing their
Yeah,
attack on Lebanon, and they were
their
using
exercise. Yeah.
Cyprus. Well, the Palestinian guy from basically the West Bank, Gaza, all that stuff, he's there to talk to Cyprus to get what Israel did so that he can let Lebanon know what's coming. But he's also there to form ties with Cyprus so that Iran and Lebanon can use Cyprus as well in their attack on Israel.
Wow.
So it's
Wow.
yeah.
But like, I was talking to a friend of mine today, and it wasn't even like 5 months ago. He was talking about, voting for the next president, right? Oh, we'll get it right, and now he's like, it's all happening. All the prophecy is happening. He goes, man, it's over. This is it. And I'm like, wow, you went from thinking we could fix things to accepting reality pretty quick, you know? And I really hope that because I know that there's like this I don't want to say urge, right, but this like feels like people are getting this urge to like kind of be in denial about how close we are to the end, and to oh yeah, that's been the end times before, and all throughout history everyone thinks they're in the end times, right? And it's like, well, guys, man, we got the Revelation 12 sign came out, we got the fig tree generation. We got all these things that are lining up with knowledge increasing every day and people going to and fro. It's like, this is it. It's never been more like this ever. you know
And no one's talking about this either. I agreed. Yeah. Today makes 7 days in a row. It's a week-long strike by thousands of truckers in South Korea.
Oh wow.
It's
Tell me about
triggered
that.
major disruptions in cargo transport and production that have caused, as of Monday, $1.2 billion in damages already.
Wow.
Because they're not getting paid enough. Today, and they announced this last week, but all of these Israeli teachers, unless it's high school or special education, are not starting their day at 7 a.m. For grade school and middle school, they're just showing up at 10 a.m. as a protest to fully strike because they're not getting paid enough.
So now, have they said anything
All this
about?
stuff is happening. Even like Naftali Bennett with Israel Today said their government has 1 to 2 weeks left unless this is signed. And if the stuff isn't signed, the West Bank will go to basically have zero protection for the Israelis who live over there. 2 of their Supreme Court justices will not be able to be Supreme Court justices. There's going to be all kinds of mayhem coming up.
So is there any kind of push to solve this thing, like say like to do anything for the economy, like change the money, make like a different currency? Is there any push to like you know uh, bring countries together? Is there any exodus or anything like that being pushed for Israel to come out of certain countries, like any kind of signs like that, to where it looks like they're finally going to get everyone together for Babylon? Or is it looking like Gog and Magog is about to happen?
They're getting ready to attack Iran, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That southern
And
part, the Elam, the Bushehr nuclear power plant, and but it's wild too because in that same prophecy of Isaiah or Jeremiah 40, it talks about Elam's fortunes will be restored to her, and God's throne will be set in Elam. In other words, after this whole humanitarian crisis and the people after the nuclear strike, and they flee that whole area and they go to every nation of the world, they end up returning back and giving praise to the Messiah in throughout the end of it. And it makes me wonder if, when it says their fortunes will be restored, it makes me wonder like that whole 332,000 of their money to $1. You know what I mean? In the Great Reset, that kind of a scenario.
oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
because it could be huge for them. If it went back to, we got revalued or something, it could be huge for them.
Yeah, and you had
And
Macron on Emmanuel Macron, on June 3rd, it said every living thing should be vaccinated. It's time to move forward.
well, so
And the
what do
whole
you
thing
think
with
of
the
him?
blockchain, well, and that just the slow driver just nailed it right there with the blockchain. And I put that in, the Revelation 18:23, where it talks about the entire world was deceived by their sorceries or their witchcraft. Basically,
So
break it down to
So what do you think about like because Emmanuel Macron was a name that popped up that was bounced around a little bit, and then a lot of people were saying Obama, a lot of people were saying Trump, right? Do you think it's leaning towards Emmanuel Macron right now, or as
I think
far as
he's.
yeah, go ahead.
I think we're seeing the leaders of the 10 nation or the 10 block division that they have the world set up, because there's going to be one mega leader, the Antichrist, and he's basically going to have 10 governors. And
So is that this new?
when you look at what is coming with the whole world health thingamajigger, there's that system where there's going to be one guy and all these different czars that report to him. It's kind of ironic how it's all coming together.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. What do you think of that DC-10 that they're starting to put together? That's like it's like a grade 8 or whatever, grade 7, but they're making it's called the DC-10, and it's like they're adding three other.
Oh,
I know it. These things,
nah, really? Oh,
yeah,
no way. Then that's prophecy right there. Bingo. DC 10?
right. Because I was watching what's his name, Pastor Kim. You know Pastor Kim. um, Dr. Gene Kim. He does Bible believing. Anyway, he does a lot of these things where he's kind of mainstreamish, right? So I mean, I take some of that stuff with a grain of salt, right? No,
But still,
nobody's
you have
perfect.
to tell me what that is, because all my DC 10 stuff are the airplanes.
The 10 little horns.
No, I know, but
I
I mean,
know
no,
it. Hey,
the name of it's not DC 10. Then it's got to be something else, like
hey, Cindy, what's it called? Where Pastor Gene Kim was talking about that. Maybe it's just D10, or it was like the D7. Oh man, I hope now I'm getting it wrong.
No, you're good. You're
Yeah,
probably so close. Yeah.
but it was like
Oh, the
it
D10. D10
D10,
group. Okay. D10 group.
and look at those
D10.
countries.
Let's see here. What do we have? Let's go to the updates from. No, this is
Probably
I
gonna
don't.
be like three little kings, and what they're adding is probably those like say three Asian countries or something because they
So
have to have.
the G7 to the D10.
Yeah.
Okay, so the D10. All right. It will include the G7 countries: the U.S., UK, Italy, Germany, France, Japan, Canada, plus Australia, South Korea, and India.
Now one of those kings is gonna come up and uproot three of them.
Yeah. So
I
let's
mean,
see
that's
what we
one
got
way to look at it.
here. Well, then you might have. Yeah, it'll be. Ooh, that's a toughie. That's a toughie.
It's just weird that it's connected to
Uh,
the WHO, right?
I if I had to go push the shove, I'd go with India.
Oh
That they'd kick out.
wow.
If I'd have to go push the shove, it'd be India. They kick out because India's been teaming. I mean, yeah, they're real concerned with their borders there with China, but then again, I see these friendships that they're building with Russia. So I'm like, well, wait a minute.
Yes, and plus all their
But you've got
satanic
Mahdi,
type
you've got him
religion.
coming to whatever the UK all the time because, oh, that's another wild thing. You know when they had the big flyover the other night, the last weekend for the Queen's thing, the 70th,
Yeah,
they had
yeah.
72 aircraft, 72
Oh,
airplanes. That reminded me of the 72 virgins that the Muslims get when they die. Well, guess what? Guess what? The London Mayor is Muslim. It was
or
almost
the
like it was a
70
twofold. Yes.
or the 72 countries that everyone got split up to after the Tower of Babel, and they're all trying to pull it back together again.
It's like, yeah, the revived Roman Empire, and yeah, I mean, it's just like all these numbers, and they're literally just throwing in your face every single day, every single day. That's
Well,
like
it's
six
like,
615. If the Shava Ode is the full moon thingamajigger, you've got 666 right there.
oh wow, 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 wow. Everything is just coming together so fast. It's almost like it's too good to be true, you know? I wanted to. I
Honestly, when you really think about it, it is unbelievable to even just think about,
It
because our minds
is,
still can't even comprehend what is going to take place.
and not only that, but
Our
look how
minds can't
perfect.
even begin to comprehend it. It's gonna be so
And,
cool.
and and as soon as I think I know what's going on, right, there's some other way that it'll happen, you know. And I'm like, wow, how did it get from there to there? And it's so perfect. And like God really puts himself you know, out there on a ledge, right? Like all these things got to come back perfect, and time is running out, and it always happens, you know. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, it's so intentional. Like you can't, there is no such thing as you know, some vague thing, you know, oh yeah, it's probably this, you know, symbolically, you know, it always happens in such a specific way that you can't deny it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't deny it. And I don't know. See, here's the thing, right? I don't know why someone would be having fear at this time instead of excitement to finally go to, look, they're killing babies out there, man. Like, who would want to raise their kids in a world like this, you know? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, not to be a downer, but like, I mean, come on, right? Like what?
Mm-hmm.
There is no such thing as the end of the world. We get to start fresh, you know. We're gonna keep going, and as soon as God comes back, all that pain stops, right?
Yeah, and I have a feeling he's right too. The slow driver, the you know, they want to move this pope out of the way. Um, you know, I don't believe he'll die. I believe they'll announce he'll die, and they'll just move him like the previous pope out of the way and just. But yeah, supposedly they have that new guy that walked in August of last year into the Vatican. 2 weeks he acted like he ran the place, and he goes anywhere he wants. He has every freaking security clearance you can have. He goes to the underground where they take the special tours. He said he's it is low to mid 40s. He speaks 17 languages, and
Wow.
he's of some kind of Middle Eastern yet European descent. Something. I don't know. I forget what he said. I'd have to get a hold of my buddy again. He's failing in health, but his contact is one of the two guys that gives the actual tours of the Vatican, the real one,
Wow.
Carmelo, which is really cool.
So this guy is like a, you know, big
Who
candidate for
knows?
like false prophet, or, you know, young pope, or possibly man of sin.
Who the
Yeah, this young guy, right? Would you say he's more in line with like being the false prophet, or
you know if
maybe?
that's if the, I mean he explained it to me too. He's like he literally walked in and everybody just was like he's like he was just he said everybody took notice. Every man and every female looked at him with awe and like that is a beautiful person. Like wow. And he just walks in
Wow,
and he just
man.
literally just started just like doing this that and they just like basically handed him the keys per se in a weird way. And he's just been keeping quiet and they've been keeping him like so I don't know. But if that's true, then that's a very strong possibility. And we could be seeing some big, yeah, all kinds of, you know what? Yeah, all kinds of nutty professor stuff. And then plus what? We've got that super duper lineup of all the planets on the 15th, June 15th.
Yep,
It's all of them. It's like
yep.
it's in 1,000 years or 100 or something crazy. To you know, it's just really cool. All the different signs above, and I've been sending you. Oh, dude, I caught that blue thing today on my phone without any filters. And I've got other
Oh,
stuff
really?
I'm getting from the NASA site that they're keeping. Oh, that's getting crazy.
So much stuff going on.
Uh,
I mean, you almost wish, like, here's the thing, right? Like, imagine this, right?
there's so
Imagine
much
if,
deception too, so we don't even know what's fake
well,
anymore and
yeah,
what's real.
right, right. Well, imagine this, right? Imagine if we were told the truth, right? From the beginning, we'd be knowing what all these signs are, and what, you know, it would be like a calendar. We'd be just watching for it to end and knowing everything how it's going to happen, and you know, who knows, right? Like getting along in different ways. See, like I used to think, right? Like, oh man, what's up? I go, what's wrong with these Amish people, man? Why don't they want TV? You know? And now, now, look, I'm like, wow, they were right. You know, like no radio, no TV, no gadgets, right? I'm like, that's probably the way we should have done it. You know, is
Right.
all these things in hindsight, right? You're like, wow, I thought those people were weird, you know.
Wandering stars. I know, man. Dude, no, seriously, have you seen that thing? I've sent it to Steven, that blue object that's right above the sun right now, and it
looks like a planet, like a blue planet.
Yeah, and Nibiru's actually blue. It's not red anyway. But anyway, that's beside the point. But this isn't Nibiru in my opinion, because we've seen Nibiru and it's actually really deep.
Could be that wormwood, right?
Well, no, I don't. Honestly, I don't know, but it's there every single day, and I'm Eastern time, and it's at the 1 o'clock position. My buddy over in Slovakia is taking pictures, and he's putting it up on in our Facebook group from yesterday, and his is at the 3 o'clock position. So it's really wild how different places on the Earth where this thing is showing up. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And supposedly only the southern hemisphere right now is seeing what they believe they are catching the Nibiru that is orbiting Venus right now.
Oh man, it's just all this stuff is just
so
it's hard to put to wrap our heads around like just because like the foundation of like all the information they taught us when we were kids. It's like now it's like trying to look at it in the different ways, right? Like okay, it's hard to like put it together, but if you look at it as like one big clock, one big calendar, it's so amazing, right? Like so when you go from the mindset that like water was like discovered and we could drink it and all this stuff, right, to
discovered?
Water was specific, right.
What are you talking about?
No,
Adam's like, oh, what's this stuff? Oh,
right,
I think I just found it.
Right. So when you go from that, right, like thinking there's cavemen and all that, right, to like water specifically made for our body, right? God made that just for us, right? But there's a section of people out there that think that, they discovered a berry. Oh, we can eat this. Oh, we discovered water, like discovered fire, right? Like it's amazing, right? Because like he put all this stuff here for us, right? All of it.
I did a total mind screw to my friend today. And I was honest with her. I said, "You want to hear something crazy?" Because she's like, "Don't be screwing with me." But I said, "I don't believe in gravity."
Right.
I don't. Yeah. She's like, "What? What about Einstein?" I'm like, "Oh, please. We thought Christopher Columbus was the first to see America too, and we know that's not true."
Right.
Well, what do you mean there's no gravity? I said, I can't prove it, right? But you know what? I just think the only reason is because if I have a helium balloon, it's lighter than the air around it. Everything else, like this pen or this piece of paper, is heavier than the air around it, and it falls down, it sinks. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, buoyancy and density, right? Really, like that explains most things. It would be like kind of a how does it go? It's like a relative density, right? Like whatever. Okay, so like if something can go down and it can continually go down, but something is stopping it from going down, that'll translate into pressure and become weight,
Yeah.
And so like everything is really like relative density disequilibrium. So instead of the gravity model, right, where everything goes down, right, the relative density is things go both ways, right? And that's always been true, right? Helium balloons go up and everything that's denser goes down, right? And that's only in relation to the medium, which is air, right? Like, so if the medium is water, then obviously it's all different, right? And so like all this stuff with Einstein, right, with space-time, I mean, it's all it's all conceptual mediums, right? Because there's no such thing as space and time, being together. It's a concept, And so it's hard to, I mean, it's so crazy. Like the genius that you would have to be Einstein, right? And already have to assume all this stuff, like the globe and all this and heliocentrism, right? Before you can even get to that where he's at. It's amazing how they compartmentalized everybody. Oh, it's these people are evil on like a cartoon villain level, It's insane. It's insane. Oh, look at everybody here, man. I'm so excited to see Dee Dee's here again. That's good. I haven't seen her in a while. Cindy's here. Rin Tin Tin. Alex is here. Man, it's great. What a great crowd. Where's Michael? I didn't see Michael. I'll probably hear from him later. Man, we have a lot of people here today. Slow Driver, welcome. Michigander's back. Hey, Michigander. Yeah, how is it out in the sticks, man? Orange Blossom is here. Welcome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't see everybody. I was trying to see pop in.
Yeah, I'm seeing all kinds of new people. Oh, Michael rowed a boat.
Michael rowed a boat.
I know it. Well, Cindy was talking to me earlier, right? And I kind of agree with her, right? Because like you know how people like start arguing over these buzzwords and all this stuff, right? And I get it. Some things are contentious, right? Some things are hard for me to hear. And like whenever we get into these like we start trying to define things, people get into these arguments. When if we just look at the overarching like the story of the Bible and what God put together and what everything was meant for, it's such a beautiful story where we can feel so secure that He loves us, and all this stuff with the fighting and the what does is mean? What does this word mean? It's crazy. Sometimes, to like why pick it apart when it's such a beautiful thing,
Yeah.
And why not be excited for the prophecy to happen and all that? I mean, God made a better place for us right as soon as the fall happened. I mean, it was like instantaneously fixed right when it went wrong. Like how could it be better than that? And once you know the truth, right? Isn't that's the freedom that God talks about, right? Once you accept the truth will set you free, and then He even equates Himself to the truth. I am the truth. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, like
where did I go? Yeah, everybody today was talking about the stock market. Like, oh my gosh, the bear market is here.
right.
I'm like,
It's
do you guys realize the high of the year was on the first day of trading, Sunday, January 2nd, when it opened at 6 p.m. Eastern, in the Globex market, and it's gone down ever since. It's like the high of the year was literally the last day of the year of 2021, and it's like
it's like these guys don't get it, right? Like at the last quarter, right? Like usually during the last quarter, each company will like try to run their business on some skeleton crew, so they can turn a profit in that last quarter. And then they hire like, oh, it's all a scam, and then people fall for it. Ooh, look, everything's great in January. Then they buy into it, and then the Payroll Protection Act that really changed everything because now, like, if a company like Amazon can't make their payroll, which I don't know why they couldn't, but when they don't, the government takes over and pays their payroll.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man. So. And then they get to like what use that money for profit, like it's like a profit on their. I never understood that with businesses. Like shouldn't businesses try to make money? Like it seems like they don't even think about that. Like because they borrow money, it's not against their own personal self. It's just against the business. And then so a lot of these businesses are in the red. And I'm like, oh wow, what do you do? What do you do? Everything's rigged, man. Everything is rigged.
Oh yeah. Even let's see here. The futures markets are up a little bit. They're bouncing. It's not like anything big, but
yeah, you can make a ton of money if you sweep in there and sweep out. If you know which way the scam is going.
I've always I told my buddies this. I said,
gamble.
I should have gotten into wheat futures and corn. You know what I mean? Because those are just going. I mean, they're like wheat is low right now here. The past this is insane low right now. It's I mean, we're still a decent move up in the past since even the beginning of the year. We've almost, it's gone from like 800 to 1066. It went up to almost 1400. Just, I mean, there's so much
Wow.
money to be made in like the future just because we know the famine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So like
absolutely.
people can make money just knowing the Bible and what the prophecy is. No, but I
Hey,
mean,
you're right. You're right.
if,
And that's why, see, this is the thing, right? You know how they use that gematria and all that stuff, right? And it's, hey, they can define the future a little bit from those numbers, right? And so
yeah,
it shows you that we're in a created world. It's like created front to back. It's over. It's complete. Like if you can like use numbers to tell you what's going to happen in a couple days, or if something's real or fake, or then I mean, shouldn't that be obvious that there's a pattern to creation? I mean,
well, yeah,
I,
and
I don't know. There's so much
I think
confirmation.
I was talking to 10 earlier. It's like I'm 51 now, and maybe in the past year, I just realized, and it's just kind of like all come together. Like, nothing of this world interests me anymore. I know the money's not going to be worth
Nothing.
anything soon. The stocks, all this. You're like, well, Ripple's going to rip. Well, I think it is too, but you know what? Okay, but
Right.
is that what you worry about? Well, yeah, I want to. Well, who have you talked to about Jesus today? What?
Exactly. Exactly.
Who have
I'm,
you had a
I'm,
conversation of praise and worship, and instead of yelling at someone, but helping them, encouraging them?
I mean, think about this, Bubba. If someone came by and just gave you $1 million cash, right? I mean, would it really make your life that much better? I mean, I would
no,
rather get out of here tomorrow. Like if someone offered me $1 billion, I'd probably just, no, don't give that to me, man. Go give that to somebody else. Because you can just see the problems coming. Because
yeah,
this world is
and
not.
looking back, like when my late wife passed, I should have taken the life insurance money and paid off the house. You know what I mean? Just things like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, safety. Yeah, yeah, secure.
just but
But what
is
do
it
you think
really
these
is it
people?
really ours in eternity? No, I'm renting a house basically, even though I'm basically renting it from my mortgage company, paying them my 30-year mortgage. I mean,
Well, hey, think about this though. Hey, think about this, right? Like, ownership is only like valid, right? If you have enforcement, if you have like police that are willing to protect your stuff. If you don't have a police or a government or anything like that, like, so the bigger guy is just gonna come take your house. You know what I mean? Like, there's gonna be no rules, right? Like,
well, and
so
that's part of the plan for the deception too. Is you take this mark, we'll forgive your house loan, we'll forgive this, but we own
right,
your home, we own your land in return, but you won't own it, or you won't have to pay for it anymore.
right.
It's
And
part of our
everything's
grand
secure.
design.
And so do you think they want to just plug everyone into the computer or turn
Well,
everyone
yeah,
into
you
a
just had
robot?
that guy from Nokia that said by the World Economic Forum last week, yeah, by 2030, the 6G will be embedded in your body. You won't have any cell phones. There'll be no such thing.
No such thing. They won't even make them, I bet. They'll just say, if you want to have
No,
your service, you got to have this
they've got
chip,
a chip shortage for a reason. So, you know what? We can't afford and we can't make these chips for phones, but we sure have these other chips that we have already ready to go. These microscopic ones that are,
They're
you
gonna
know.
drill them into your head. It's like, oh man. I told my kids, right? Because this is probably the hardest time to be like an 18
I can't
to
even
20-year-old.
imagine what these kids have gone through.
Well, it's gonna be hard because like my kids can make their own choices, but they're only 19 and 22. They're kids still. And I told them, I said, don't let anything in your body, anything past your skin. You know, you should at least have body autonomy. Once they put money, like say like the all the currency is inside your body, they can just turn you off anytime
Oh,
they
of
want.
course, of course.
Forget that, man.
That's part of
Forget
the
it.
social credit thing, and yeah, we're gonna
It's
give you,
crazy.
the what's that when they give everybody the money, basic income, universal basic
Oh
income. Well,
yeah,
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 they give it
basic,
to
yeah.
you, but you say the wrong things on social media with your social credit score. We can take some of those digits in your money.
Yeah, or,
I
or, or,
mean,
or like you're not allowed to buy a donut or go on the bus if you don't have a certain score. You're like, oh, I only have a 4-star rating. Oh, you can't go on the bus today. You got to walk.
it's
You know,
unreal.
like if you're like, say you're in line at the bank, right, and you just, you make somebody mad, you're having a bad day, right? Oh, all the scores, they start rating you right there. Oh
Yeah.
wow, that could be devastating.
It's a Doritos. Oh, brother. Oh, brother.
Crazy. Uh, is there
uh,
anything you wanna like say here at the any last burning desires?
no,
Any
shoot.
questions from the group?
I was gonna
Let's
say, yeah, get the group to
let's
ask
get some
questions
questions.
and
Yeah, let's get some questions rolling.
shoot.
Anybody have any questions about things that are going on, or little narratives that are happening, or questions about Bible prophecy? Like,
Don't be shy. Steven don't know it all, and I don't know it all. That's for
yeah,
daggum
I get
sure.
it. For
You know what?
sure,
That's
for
the other
sure.
thing. The more I learn, the less I know.
Right. Yeah, me
No,
too. Yeah.
seriously, the more you
Yeah.
learn about stuff, the more you realize I don't know a daggum thing compared to what's out there.
That's right. That's right.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. You're like, man, there's a whole nother layer of stuff I need to know now. Like, so far away from being what I was imagined to be, right? Look how slow this StreamYard is, right? Okay, what does AGM say? He says, "All I can say is, boys, is I don't get wrapped up in mainstream media news about the chip and the mark. And when Christ decides, oh, okay, well, you don't want to follow all the prophecy at the end, AJ. He wants to be surprised, like a thief in the night."
I was trying to think. I used to find so much stuff on biometricnews.com and stuff, all this stuff latest that they have, and yeah, it's just insane. I mean, just the okay, that's not it. Anywho, yeah, and
Well,
the blockchain is everything because that's how you're going to be able to buy or sell anything. Is because you'll. What's the big push that they've wanted? A digital identification, because there's over 1 billion people on the planet, say in India and Africa and stuff, that still have no record, no digital record, no bank account. You know what I mean? No
right.
ATM thing, no cell phone. And that's a huge one they've been working on to get these cell phones to the people and charge them pennies a month, basically, and have all these older phones that we've, collected, like
Yeah,
send in your phone to get your free phone credit, well, yeah, and all kinds of
absolutely.
stuff.
Well, see, now they're doing this stuff, right, with these radio frequencies, and they're putting like AI, like they're powering it with AI, where the air itself, right, can have memory of like your heartbeat, your eyes, your fingerprints. I mean, the air around you
Mm.
is keeping bio data of you, and
Oh
that is
yeah.
crazy. That would be omnipresent there, right? Some kind of artificial omnipresence. There's this channel that also turned me on to. It's called Lookout for Charlie or whatever. And he's not a Christian guy, I don't think, but man, he shows like how you can like pick up like sounds and voices and noises from all these, they play these frequencies into people's houses and stuff, and this is
Oh yeah.
provable stuff. They can like he can go somewhere and like these sounds ride on other sounds. So like if like you're doing footsteps or whatever, like the sounds of those voices are riding on those sounds of the footsteps, and you can pick that up, and it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're making people nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, I'm with AJ in that one because yeah, of course they're pushing this because they know it. These demons, they know exactly what's coming. They know their time is short. They're getting ready
Oh
to shine. They're getting ready to bring as many as they can straight to the pits of hell and kill as many as they can. And that kills me too. Just what is it, the fourth seal or whatever, when it's a death and hell followed with it? It's literally like a death, you're thrown into hell. A death, it's literally like an assembly line of just death chucking into hell. Death, hell, death, hell, death, hell. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, yeah, they're ready to rock and roll with their demonic. Yeah.
But what's crazy is they know the end, but they're
Well,
so
that's Satan.
arrogant.
He still thinks he can win.
I know
This
it.
is why he's doing it. He's like, I'm still going to go for it.
That's so
I've had all
crazy.
this time to be thinking about it. I got some plans God don't know about. Right.
Yeah, right. Well, hey, Rin Tin Tin wants to know, do you know about the new border law? 100 miles in, out. Okay, so wait, how does this go? Do you know about the new border law? 100 miles in, out, entire border around the U.S. No constitution. We can be checked without warrant. Can come into the house. Oh yeah, like is there going to be
Oh,
like
I
some kind
believe
of
it. I believe it 100%.
non-sovereignty? Yeah.
I believe it 100%. And dude, that thing you sent me, and it hit me a second time after you sent that to me about the AWS, because I was like, yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
that AWS before, the
that's
previous one.
Amazon.
And then I realized, and then I read it again and I realized, wait a minute, this was updated June 3rd. This is the
Yes.
new one. And then I read it and it talks about the bodies and the corpses reanimating, then becoming zombified and feeding upon each other, flesh, bone, brain, skin.
Crazy, right?
I mean, it's like they know that. And it got me thinking. And I told my buddy, I said, oh, wow, what if this is that beast of the earth that it talks about? These
Right.
animals are going to bite something and it's going to turn that human into like a zombified, nasty, demonic. I can see it. You know,
Well,
when
do
the
you
Bible
think
says
that
that
they would?
men's hearts will fail for fear, seeing the things that come upon the earth. This can mean so many different things. What they're seeing,
Yeah.
like that, what they're seeing in the sky above, what they're seeing with nuclear, what they're experiencing with their heart, having a heart attack with an EMP.
Well, it's
So
saying
many
that
different
people,
things. Yeah.
it's saying that people will wish for death and it'll flee from them, right? Like they'll want to die, but they can't. And so you got all these like, and so what? Let me bring the audience up to speed, right? This new thing with Amazon where where it goes into like how like when you sign up for an app or something like that, there'll be like you're signing up for all the conditions and stuff for the app, all the
Right.
stuff that they want to do. Well, in the back, right, it was on one of the lines, it said if a person reanimates after death and becomes a zombie and starts eating human flesh, like they're prepared for that. Just a
Yeah.
regular a regular sign up for this, and these are the terms and conditions. Yeah, the fine print, they wouldn't have that in there if they didn't need to have it in there. Trust me, this is Amazon. This is
I told my
their
buddy that too. I said, you know what? What if this is just some freak in their department that puts this out just to see if anyone reads it far enough and they get a kick when people catch it and put it on social media? But then I told him too, I said, you know what? No, they're not going to spend all this money with their legal team and whatnot. They're putting this out
cost
for a
them
reason.
billions. Yeah, it would cost them billions for that, right? Like if somebody were to point something like that out, or it would cost them so much money to fix it, and who knows what damages people we can squeeze out of that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's no way that they would let that go. I mean, it's just crazy, man. It is
Who was it? We
crazy.
were talking about Satan, and I saw something. Maybe it was not the in earth, but that reminded me of something. I was telling my buddy this because there's three heavens, right?
Yeah,
I mean, the air we
7, right?
breathe.
Or is it
Well,
3?
no. What I'm talking about, I'm referring to the Bible talks. It refers to
Okay.
like, the Mormons call it celestial, telestial, and terrestrial. In the New Testament, it talks about basically the earth. There's three heavens. The heavens like we have right here, the clouds up to the dome or
Right.
whatever, what we breathe, and then from there on, all the stars, all the planets, all the suns, and then the final heaven, the third heaven, because that's why Paul said I was caught up to the third heaven.
To God.
Right. And yeah, but anyway, because you think about it, Satan went against God for pride. Satan used to be in heaven with God. He was a
Yeah.
freaking worship leader, song
Yeah, he was the
choir director.
number 2 guy. I mean,
Right. So he's like, I'm going to go against God and take over his throne. God's like, I don't think so. God kicked him out
right.
of the third heaven. Okay, well, Satan
Yeah.
still owns this heaven we breathe and stuff. That's why he offered it to Jesus. Hey, bow down to me. I'll give you all this. Jesus is like, I don't think so. Get out of here. I created this. Hello?
That's right.
But And then Satan controls the frequencies, everything in the air. He's the spirit of the power of the air. You know what I mean? So he, and all these demonic things, I believe he has control over the Saturn, the Saturnalia, the Satan, the weird things on Mars, the UFOs, the fallen angels, that demon kind of a scenario. But check it out. And it finally hit me. In Revelation 12, when we get to that, into that point, around the midpoint time, you know what I mean, in the 7 years, he's cast down from that second heaven to this lower heaven. He then has no control above, because God he regains control when he says, I open up the windows of the scroll. You know what I mean? He's cast down to this earth, and he only has dominion now over this heaven, the air that we breathe, up to the clouds, and he's pissed. And that's why he goes after, I'm going to go against them. And he tries to attack, you know, and he sends the water to go after them, the man-child. And the Bible says that, you know, God sees it. God's like, yeah, whatever. And he opens up the earth and swallows the flood that he tries to send to destroy them. And that ticks him off even more, because he can't destroy the Jews. So then he goes and he makes war against all the tribulation saints like nobody's business.
Yeah.
it's insane.
It's crazy. Alrighty, guys. Well,
how was that? Was that better? Was that good?
You're great, man.
No, not me. Shoot, I was just asking about the people. There we got Michael in there. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I got to get those female products for my teenage daughters, dude. Shoot. Yeah. Uh-oh. Did he leave? So I'm still here. Oh, that's funny.
Okay,
am I here? I'm here. That was funny. I'm here. It's your show and I'm here.
You know, it got bumped out. All right, guys.
Go on. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well, I'll say this, man. It's always an honor to have you on, a pleasure. Oh, he left already. Bubba is so great. And I just want to say that it is an honor to have him on, and just such a pleasure. And he's so great, man. And aren't we lucky to have him, you know? So 3 cheers for Bubba. Praise God, right? And I'll say this, I love you guys, man. And we are doing a lot of good stuff, right? And in between, talking to a lot of people, and you know, we're getting close again. You know, like we were kind of having our he got a little excited. Yeah. No, you're great, Bubba. You're absolutely great. Absolutely. And so I think we're all getting tight again, you know, like everything is going so great. Yeah, I know, Ray. But anyway, so yes, forgive, repent, yes, absolutely, right? And that's what it's all about, right? And we're gonna endure till the end. And so you know, God bless you guys. Yes, it was absolutely great, Bubba. You definitely increased the you know, value on us. All right. Praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace. All glory to God, because he deserves it. And please pray for the children. Please pray for anyone being victimized. Please pray for each other, because it's important. And I will see you guys, Lord willing, tomorrow at 6 a.m. with Jake and Stephanie. It's going to be great. All right. See you guys later. Bye.